as we can see, not everyone is happy with the certain changes of Naruto characters in Boruto, especially when it comes to female characters, primarily Anko. Especially amongst Naruto fans, but primarily amongst male Naruto fans who would pretty much be like, OMG, what happened to Anko? She was a baddie, this, that, and the other. And oh my gosh, the crazy theories I have read on why in the world she gained weight. Some note like, oh, she got a disease and the only medicine that could like cure it was Akimichi medicine. But because it was Akimichi medicine, like the side effect is that she gains weight. Another crazy theory I heard was that, oh, the curse mark burned a lot of calories. So when she lost that caused her to gain weight. So some logical explanations on why Anko gained weight is that, one, like, she always ate. It's not like she never ate when she was younger. But due to the peace in Boruto, so that led to her going on less missions. This led to her gaining weight. Another logical explanation is that, well, like, she went through quite a bit of trauma, especially due to Orochimaru. And so she ate as a way of a coping mechanism. So I am a bit weary of this conclusion on why she is eating, primarily because Naruto tends to paint their female characters as those that are unable to handle trauma like men are. Primarily given that all the other females we see who does have trauma either go through gambling issues or drinking issues or have fear of blood, which is actually just all one person, Tsunade. Or like they just, when it comes to issues, period, they just handle it poorly, unlike the men in Naruto. Now, I want to make clear, the purpose of this video is to not pretty much solve why in the world Anko gained weight. I'm fine with her the way she is, or they made her in Boruto. The biggest issue is that I realize there is a clear difference between the females in Boruto and the men in Boruto. For, as you can tell, Might Guy and Kakashi looks the same. Like, they pretty much don't even look like they aged. And the main reason I've heard on, like, why they didn't age the men, primarily Kakashi, is because, well, he's a fan favorite. Naruto fans would go crazy if they aged him up. But I propose a different reason, which obviously has to do with gender. But primarily because they're no longer fan service. Like, it seems like, particularly in anime, that once either a woman hits a specific age, I'm guessing like 40 plus, or when a woman becomes a mom, they're no longer fan service material, as seen in Boruto. And I want to make clear, it's not solely because of their physical appearance, but just also how they present the character in Boruto. Like, in the case of Anko, they just pretty much constantly show her eating, or if she's not eating, she's pretty much the butt of a fat joke. And I want to make clear, this is not something that's solely in Naruto. I've seen this in other shonen animes, like One Piece. Now, before I go any further with this anime, I admit I don't know much about this anime. I've never watched it. I'm sorry. But, like, I see in One Piece, like, Big Mama, like, they show a young version of her, which is fan service, okay? A young version of her is fan service. But in her current state where she's, like, 60, I believe, and has had, like, 85 kids, apparently, like, she's overweight and all this other stuff. And I could see the same with Deku's mom, who, when seen in flashbacks, like, again, she's basically fan service. But, like, in the current timeline, she, too, is overweight. And just to be clear, like, clearly, like, Deku's mom is covered up and such in that photo I used where I said fan service. I apparently just say that because, like, I'm looking at it through a male gaze. So this begs the question, why in the world do they pretty much go ahead and quote-unquote downgrade these female characters once they reach a certain age? And the main answer, I believe, to this question is that they believe the biggest fear for women is aging. And the main reason I say that they believe that women fear most is aging, primarily like losing their attraction, is due to the many abilities I bumped into that has females retain their use. From Naruto, the prime example will be Tsunade. Like, Tsunade looks the same even at like 60 plus years old, is because of her seal. We also see this in One Piece with the character named Bonnie, who apparently has the ability to make herself younger and older. So it has been speculated amongst One Piece fans and viewers how when she turns like 80, she'll still be able to look 20. Another example would be Bakugo's mom from My Hero Academia, who looks younger than she does due to her quirk. And I believe she's also a model at that as well. And a final example coming from Hunter x Hunter with the character Biscuit, who looks like a child, though she is like 57 years old and pretty much like having like 100-year-old or 50-year-olds or even like 1,000-year-old females particularly looking like minors is a whole nother issue, which definitely deserves its own video. But getting back to Hunter x Hunter, I know like every Nen user has this ability to pretty much like age slower, but I just mainly wanted to point out how it's primarily the female Nen users that we see take advantage of this as opposed to the male Nen users. So all in all, like when it comes to shonen anime in particular, they have their females pretty much obsessed with how they look. And I don't want to tie this just to like middle-aged women. We also see this just with women period in shonen. A prime example of this, I believe, can be found in Naruto, especially in that scene when Ino and Sakura are obsessed with Tsunade's chest and how she was able to get it that big. But going back to middle-aged women, why I highlight them particularly is just that it just seems to teach how like, oh, once you serve your purpose as the fan service, like you're basically done. Like you're not even giving good character treatment, especially after you reach middle age. For when we see Anko and Boruto, like she's either constantly eating or she's the butt of a fat joke. And so my main issue is not that she's big. I don't mind her being big. My main issue is their treatment of her and other middle-aged women in Boruto. Another example being Mei, who is just pretty much like the creepy aunt that flirts with young men. I think they were trying to recreate that scene of her and Sasuke, but you know, obviously it's not the same given that she's older and less attractive. And because looking again to Anko, like at the end of the day, she was just fan service. The major thing like Naruto fans, again, especially male Naruto fans focus on is how much she physically changed. So I can't even blame them for pretty much pointing out like, oh man, she's gotten bigger. And it really sucks at that too. I like how this comment points out, wow, you guys are more focused on how she physically changed, but how she got like zero character development, though the potential was definitely there. Which I definitely agree, especially after looking up this clip here. Like, oh my gosh, this clip is very chilling and I loved it. But it sucks to see that they literally just go nowhere with this. And I feel like females that are unmarried and or have no children are definitely treated the worst when it comes to middle-aged women in anime. So my hopes is that over time with anime that they just treat middle-aged women better story-wise. But happily, I do see improvements in this, given that in this clip from The Nightmare of the Wolf, The Witcher anime, in this clip, not only does the woman look like she's nearly 70, as she states, but she is also, like, kissed by the protagonist of this movie. And, you know, it pretty much just highlights that, hey, like, she still is a human being. Thank you for checking out this video. I hope you have a great day, week, month, year, decade. Bye!